I am 21 in a few weeks and my life is about to start. What I mean by that is pretty simple. Let me take you with you guys. I can finally start living the life I want to live. You may ask, what do I mean with I can start living the life I want to live? And it's pretty simple. All those years I did things I absolutely hated. I need to do things I never wanted to do because I just really didn't care about. First it was like preschool, and it was okay, you had your friends and shit, but then normal school hit and it was so fucking boring. I hated every fucking day. And let's be honest, I just go there because I needed to, and of course because of my friends. Let's not lie. But then, at the age of 15, I decided that I want to be an entrepreneur someday and focus and work for myself, do things like that. And with that realization, it was like my first realization that I had was like, damn, I can really become rich. Like, it's not something. Before that, I always thought like you either are rich or you're not rich. And then I found out about entrepreneurship. You can just, for example, at that time I wanted to be a gaming YouTuber, so I made a lot of videos there. I made my first money with that as well. At age 16, I think it was, 16 or 17, I made my first money with that, which is pretty nice, I would say. And so I started with YouTube, like gaming videos and reaction videos, and I started at COVID. And that was like, COVID was one of the best times of my life. I had so much free time. I did nothing but streaming and making videos. I had so much fun doing that. And that's why I was so devastated when I go back to school, because I was in the first COVID lockdown. It was my final year. And after I did that, I needed to redo it to get like a higher grade. I don't know the grading system in other countries, but we have like 3 different degrees, and I did the lowest. Yeah, I was just focused on just finishing the school with the middle degree. And my teacher one day just told me, yeah, no, I decide now that you need to be the lower grade. So I did the final exam, passed, and then I did the same thing again, which was pretty depressing to do again, because I needed to add another 2 years in. And the second lockdown was 1 year before my next final exam. So my day really consists of, I'm waking up, I start streaming for like 1 or 2 viewers. Then it was like, oh, now I have via Zoom call French lessons. So I ended the stream, did 1 hour of this class, disconnected from Zoom, then got back on and streamed again for another 4 or 5 hours. It was such a fun time just doing the things I love. And I also remember that when I got back, it was like not even cool, because like there was not many people there. Slowly people started to needed to go back, especially the people who was going to finals. Then we came back and slowly everyone needs to go back. And it was such a shit time. Everyone needs to have covered the faces, and yeah, it was just garbage, man. And after that, after like 1 or 2 years later, my class found out that I did YouTube and they laughed at me. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really fucking care, man. Every time they tried to mock me, I was talking so much about what the things I do, how much I love doing it, and they didn't get. And after like a week, they stopped because it was not fun bullying me, because I was very, very proud and very how do I put this? I was very proud and was very like, yeah, that is my thing. I love doing it. So they thought they can shame me, but it didn't fucking work. Because I was kind of obsessed. I was like only thinking, okay, where can I stream? How can I stream the most time? Which games do I play? How to do entertaining shit, blah, blah, blah. Then when I was about to finish school, I started with self-improvement and much more. And I really felt bad doing gaming videos, because I felt so dirty thinking, okay, with the videos, I'm distracting people from the things they need to focus on. Let's change location. That's why I wanted to change and make money with the other business model. That was like when the time was with Andrew Tate, Iman Ghazi, and I watched all the videos and was so focused on getting money and only money. That was like the only thing that was important to me. And that's why I bought a course from Iman Gazzi to do how like an agency and shit. And that was my next big goal, making a good, like a big fucking agency. And then I thought like, okay, I'm going to take a gap year. But how do you describe that? I was working at childcare at the same time. It was like it's like a thing in Germany, like a program where I can like work there for free, but you get paid a little bit for it. It's not really much. It's like $300 or something per month, which is basically nothing for doing a full-time job. But I just wanted to have like a gap year where I can just work there, get some money. I was underage, so that was like the only option I had. Either I needed to go to some school or needed to become a trainee. So that was like the only option until I was 18. At the time I was like 17. And my day just consisted of me waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, chucking down 2 liters. Like, as you can see, I have monsters here. I was like waking up, chucking down 2 of them bad boys. And then I was just focusing and grinding until like, what was it, 5 a.m. Then I was going out, doing jogging, doing some weights. And I lost so much weight. And I started seeing progress. I got the first clients. I hired a person to do the ads for me. I saw the first things that grow with me, and then I pussied out. I'm gonna be honest, I pussied out. I was so stressed. I was like, my goal was like, okay, I'm living in Germany, and the clients I had were like in the USA. So we had a big time difference. So there were like times where I was like awake until like 1 or 2 a.m. at times, just to make calls and shit. And I was so stressed, mate. I was so devastated. And then I thought, okay, I felt so much like an imposter because I had not really any knowledge about how a business worked. I knew a lot about marketing at the time, which I observed through experience, a lot of courses, a lot of research, and through an employee I had. I had one employee. She was pretty nice. Was a freelancer who I employed for just specifically the marketing. And the thing that broke me was that the imposter syndrome. I felt such an imposter thing, like how can I charge them so much money when I have zero clue how a business works? And then when I decided, okay, I will not, after the year I work at the childcare, I thought like, okay, I will not just work on my agency and like try to grow that, becoming like an industry clerk, so I can learn how a business functions, all the different steps needed, all the rules, all that shit. And after I started that for a while, I was like, no, agency is really not it. It doesn't make any fun. It's just purely for the money, and I really didn't enjoy it. And then I was like, okay, I stopped doing that. I changed to making bots, like AI bots, in 2023, where like there was nearly not enough AI in there yet, but I did like chat bots for that, and I was building it, and I was like, man, that is just not fun, because I did the biggest mistake, and that was never starting to sell. I made the bots, I showed them my father, and my father said, yeah, but you can add that, and that. And I put at least like 4 or 5 months just to make a demo website with a demo chatbot. And I made a whole store, a whole fake store, which a good design. I had like in my own website for the agency. I had my own outreach system, which I automated like with cold DMs and shit, and which didn't really work. I had so many problems. I had a whole cold email automation out. I had a website for my agency with a call look and shit. I had a website as a showcase with like fake things to purchase, with the chatbot integrated and shit, which was pretty good, I need to say. But I never ever, it was like never enough. I did it and I saw no results, because if you work 5 months on all that shit and automate all that shit and nothing happens, I was feeling so demotivated. So it's like, okay, no, I'm stopping that. And that was like my agency time. Then I thought like, okay, maybe I should go back to gaming, and then I was trying to become a pro in Valorant for a year, and I was not cut out for it. The amount of time I needed to invest in the game to just be like above average a little bit was so much that I was like, now it doesn't really make fun. I'm spending way too much in there. I'm not taking my fitness in there, nothing. Then there was like the great gap I had where I was like purposeless. I had no idea what to do. And then I thought again, it was like, what? Then I had like 1 month where I just focused on what could be my purpose and how to find the thing that like you really enjoy. And then I thought, okay, what I love doing YouTube, and I still love the idea of doing YouTube. Why don't I just become an educational content creator? And then I started doing videos, and now I had my finals. I did write my finals and shit. I did like 1 or 2 weeks where I just grinded out learning for that shit. I was so nervous and shit, and I wrote them day by day. And now today I'm finally free. In a 1 month or something like that, I will be able to finish my traineeship, and afterwards I will spend at least 4, 5, 6 months just grinding on my health, just grinding the gym, getting all my fat away. And I will grind making videos, being a better editor, become a videographer, become good with cameras and shit, and take you with me on this journey. That's like my goal right now, and I'm so excited for that. Like, understand how hyped I am right now to do this with you guys. So just, yeah, I can't say it in another way. I can finally say I am fucking free. And now I can finally say that in 1 month, I will become 21 years old. And in 1 month and 2 days more, I will finish being a trainee and focus on the thing I truly want to be, an educational content creator. And I will focus all my time. I will get rid of all the distraction, will just focus on making videos and mental health and my physical body, and get in shape and finally get the six-pack I want. Because as I said, I really enjoyed doing YouTube, and I really enjoyed the grind at the agent. So now I can combine the two things I love, and I finally found something with a purpose which makes fun, which is really, really fun for me. And I really, really, really want to do this for a living because I really enjoy doing this. So my plan is to go back to waking up at 3 a.m. and grinding as long as I can. I need to start working at 9, which means I have a solid 6 hours. From that I can, like, from 3 to 5, 5:30, 6 a.m., like 3 hours where I can just edit and just edit properly, because I can't record in the morning when my parents are next to me sleeping. And I will just focus on that. And with that, I'm really very happy and very excited to see where it's going. With that, see you next time. Bye bye.